Morning. Just want to talk to you about porcelain and what we've learned. So Justin from Brick right here again. So hope you're well and hope you're keeping safe in this in these mad times of COVID. So hope all your families and everything are safe. So we'll crack straight on. So you've probably been watching. Well, I hope you've been watching the videos with us. We've been laying porcelain paving. So I just wanted to just go through a few quick things. We've already gone through a lot of it out on site, but we're going to go through it quickly with you just so you understand a little bit more about porcelain. So, I did a lot of research into porcelain before I started doing this. Months and months and months and months of doing my due diligence in terms of, going on the internet and looking at stuff. I went to the builders merchants and all the rest of it. So we'll kick straight off of what I found, right? So porcelain. So you're going to be, when you choose your slabs, or your tiles rather, which is what they're called, you want to be looking at the outdoor slip rating. So the slip rating starts at S9, but S9 is for inside. So your outdoor slip rating starts from S11 up to, I think, it's S13. So you want to have a minimum of S11 for your slip rating for external porcelain. And then you want to be looking at whether your porcelain is full bodied. Now what that means is, if it's full bodied, it'll be the same colour right the way through the porcelain tile. So God forbid, if you're having a barbecue in the summer and somebody drops something on the porcelain and there's a little chip on it, then obviously you'll see the same. So say it's grey on top, you'll see grey underneath the chip. So you don't want to be having a cheap porcelain, somebody chipping it, and then the top of the transfer is grey on top, and then all of a sudden then they've chipped it and it's a terracotta. It stands out like a sore thumb, doesn't it? So you don't want to be buying cheap stuff. So it's got to be full bodied. Vitrified, vitrified, we've been through this. I'm looking at my notes as well. So vitrified is basically is heated with three special clays. You've got is it called kaolin or something, how you pronounce it? Kaolin, three types of clays, and then it's heated at 1200 degrees centigrade then. And that makes the product a lot more harder, a lot more durable, and then it's extremely low water absorption of less than 0.5%. So, the water, like Indian sandstone, sucks water up. These porcelain slabs now, the water's just going to sit on top. They're non-water absorbent. So, in terms of their maintenance, they're going to stay relatively clean for a long time. You haven't got the maintenance or the sealing that you have to do with the Indian sandstone. So these are a lot more better, a lot more durable rather. Rectified porcelain. So rectified, basically that means that when they kiln it, then the kilning process might shrink or increase the size of the slab. So when they come out the kiln, they just cut them to the designated size, and so all the slabs are exact same size, or there or thereabouts. And then you've got your priming slurry. So once you've chosen your slabs and you're going to start laying your slabs, most important thing, I've just been talking to the lads, and the most important thing you can do is get yourself a decent priming slurry. I wouldn't bother getting an SBR and making your own and doing all that. It's just pointless for the cost and for what these products actually do. You're in a better position to buy yourself a good paving slurry, mix it up to what it says on the tin, and just put loads of it on the back, and then once you put it down, then the bonding between the porcelain and the cement you're using, the mortar you're using, it's going to stick, isn't it? If you don't use it, then because the porcelain's non absorbent, it's not going to absorb into the cement's not going to suck into the product, and it's not going to adhere, it's not going to bond. So you're going to get a failing, you're going to get delamination then, aren't you? So you've got to get your good slurry going. And then grouting. All these things, I've looked into these things meticulously because we're doing a job here in Cardiff, and the porcelain is about 48-50 pound a square metre. So it's top-notch porcelain. There's no messing about with this. It's top quality porcelain. So you've got to be able to do a fantastic job, and that's what we want to do. So I've looked into all this. So grouting, and this was a stumbling block for me, the biggest stumbling block with everything. My customer's just coming up with a cup of tea, lover. And so yeah, it was a stumbling block. So I've gone for flow point, and what we're going to do, we're going to show you a flow point. We're going to do the bottom patio down here. We're going to show you, because we've used it on the top, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. It really is. We've used the brushings before, and you just can't use the brushings on the porcelain because, you know, the joints on porcelain, that you're looking at like a 4mm, 3mm, 6mm, whatever you're using. And these polymer or these resin-based compounds, these brushings, they're not suitable for this. They're porous as well, so the water will track through. So you've got to use a grout, not a brushing. Please don't use brushing compounds on porcelain because it's just going to fail. So we've gone for a flow point, so we'll show you what to do. That's a rapid setting compound. You know, they use this on all the high streets you see in when they're doing all your projects in your local town centres and stuff, where they do these paving projects, and right the way through in the pedestrianised areas, they're using a lot of flow point on these big commercial areas, and they will withstand traffic within kind of an hour or 2 hours or whatever it is of installing it. You can walk on it, it'll set within an hour. And it's a bit daunting to use, but absolutely brilliant product. The final result, I'm really pleased with it. So we'll go through that with you in a bit more detail. What other points have I got? Oh, cutting porcelain. Again, I went through this. I went through this weeks, maybe months of going through, trying to find the right equipment. So we've invested in this heavily now within my company to be able to supply a good job, first and foremost for us, and secondly for our client. You know, we want to do a good job, and they deserve a good job, don't they, your client? So this is why, you know, I put my all into this to be able to move on to porcelain and do the right job. So I'm trying to share this with you now. So there's a lot of lads out there that I think you can cut these long 1.2 1500 planks, slabs, whatever you want to call these porcelain tiles now, with a disc cutter, being like a Still or a Husqvarna disc cutter, you know, the big site petrol 2-stroke disc cutters. It's not going to happen. You know, you can probably get a relatively straight line, but depending on the porcelain you use, and it's going to splinter. You know, you're not going to get a perfectly machine cut straight line. And because a lot of these porcelain tiles now are a long plank porcelain tiles, you know, you want a straight line out of it, don't you? You want to be able to get that perfection. So what we've done, Brad is yeah, come on Brad, I want my cup of tea. Excuse me a second, can't stop for a cup of tea. I just said no, Brad, there's no way I'm stopping anything for a cup of tea.
Well, I didn't want to disturb you doing any video.
Cup of tea comes first, doesn't it? Yeah. Thank you, Brad, and thank Joe for the cup of tea. Okay. Any bacon sandwiches?
Oh, sausage sandwiches.
Any, like a full breakfast or something? You've probably eaten it all, haven't you? Yeah, she's probably given you 3, and you've probably eaten a lot, haven't you? Sorry about that. Right, so yeah, so what was we saying? Cutting. So what we've done is we've gone out and we've bought we've just invested heavily in a Ruby wet saw DX 250 1400, I think it's called, and we've used it here on these intricate cuts, and I have to say, absolutely brilliant. I mean, the cuts are absolutely bang on, straight, you know, it's absolutely, you got to see it to believe it. You know, I'm so pleased we bought it, and we'll be able to use this now on other paving. We'll be able to use it to cut bricks. We'll be able to use it to cut all our porcelain, all our Indian sandstone, anything we want to put through there. You know, we can put through there. Obviously, there's different blades which we've purchased for Indian sandstone and porcelain, so be careful about that. It's a wet saw, so there's no dust. You're not breaking your back bending down. You're not constantly trying to start it and just press a button. It's electric. I mean, it is a bit of a hindrance because it's heavy and it's bulky and it's big, you know, but you get what you pay for, and I think this is upped our game, upped our level of what we can install now for the client and for us. So yeah, you've got to get your saw sorted. And we do use a little mini disc cutter with like a ECD 115 blade on it, and we've got a porcelain blade that we use to cut the tiny little bits around drain pipes and that the Ruby can't. So that seems to be working well. But then you've got to, you know, get a diamond pad then, just to shave your sides down and make sure the sides are nice and flush and everything. So that's fine. And then yeah, installation. I mean, when you're installing it, we put ours down on a minimum of a 100mm MOT base. So compact that in 50mm layers with a machine and just whack the backside out of it, you know, really whack it. and then we use a 4-in-1 sharp sand and cement. So 4 sharp sand, 1 cement. Now the reason we do that, the sharp sand, is just the sharp sand gives it a bit more body, it gives it a bit more structure, it binds the aggregate together better, and it's just stronger over the period of time for the paving to sit on. So the beds, you're looking around about a 30 mil bed underneath, anything up to a 30 to a 50, even up to like a 60 mil bed underneath in places if you really want to. So you lay your bed down, and then you get your mallet, and we're using like a cream porcelain. So we got a white mallet. Don't use your black mallet because you'll stain the slab. You mark the slab, and then you just you whack the slab down to the desired level with your line and your levels and everything you've got going on site. You might want to be using spacers, but check with your client or have a consideration with yourself if you're doing it DIY. What size spacers, what size gap, space do you want in between the porcelain? I would say around about a 4 mil between a 3 and a 5 mil then. So 4 mil for me is around about right for porcelain, but double check with what you want or what your client wants. So yeah, that's good. And then the only other thing to mention about this, moving on to porcelain now, and you can probably hear now Fraser's in the background now using the whisk, the paddle mixer. So we bought like a Plasters paddle mixer to use to mix our slurry. So again, no messing about. We've invested, we want to do it properly. So he's out there getting things ready for me now. Installation wise, you go to the builders merchants and you ask them about porcelain, and they haven't got a clue. They haven't got a bloody clue what they're talking about, because they want to sell you the product. They want to sell you the vitrified, the rectified, the full bodied and all that lot. But you ask them about any of that, they don't know. They know it's Italian porcelain because they know that's what you want. They know people want to invest in Italian porcelain, so they're trying to sell you that. You mentioned paving slurry to them, and some of them may know about that. But you mentioned all the stuff we've been talking about the grout, flow point and stuff like that. I mean, one of the builders merchants even recommended me to use like a pave tough jointing compound in between a 4 mil joint. It's just going to fail. So if people are going in there, builders or DIYers or anybody going into the builders merchants, and the builders merchants are selling you this product, which they're going to do, and then they're giving you an install guide as to what to do or how to do it, then I'm sorry, but they're wrong, and it's a failing within our industry. I mean, as much as the builders merchants are great, and I get on with all the lads there and the managers and the boys on the yard help me out, and they squeeze our deliveries in, that side of it, fantastic. That's a customer service side of it, which a lot of them we know now, and it's great because they know us. But on the other side of it, which still is customer service related, they need to understand their products a lot more. So be very, very careful going into the builders merchant and speaking to the lads and taking their word for it, because don't do that, because they're going to be telling you the wrong stuff. You've got to investigate and listen to people that know what they're doing, and go and find things out and test it for yourself, because the last thing you want to do is spend all this money, listen to some lunatic in the builders merchants who's trying to sell you their products because they got them on the shelf, and the products they're going to be using are going to fail. So it's a big thing, and they should be investing in people, maybe ex-tradesmen getting into their 60s or something, and investing into these people, and having a special person within the facility, their builders merchants, i.e. so say you go in for bricks, get an old brickie in there, somebody who's done the trade, somebody who understands the trade, and somebody you can go to and say, hiya mate, I'm looking for some bricks today, I'm using them for outside work on a boundary wall. So say somebody in the builders merchants sold you LBC bricks to use outside. Any bricklayer who's worth any weight in gold, anybody who knows their job as a bricklayer knows if you use LBC bricks on an external wall, they're going to crumble, the face is going to come off, they're going to fail, the frost resistance is pants, and the bricks are going to fail. You're going to have the client back on the phone, you're going to have to go back and put your work right. It's going to cost thousands, isn't it? So you've got to have, when you work, and we've done it on this job, yeah, we've used manorial mixture Ipstock bricks, and we've one, we wanted to match the house because that's what the client wanted, so that was first and foremost, and two, I've got them because of an F2 rating, which means, you know, they got a good durability, they got a good frost proof about them, and they got a low water absorption about them. So I know, being an F2 rated brick as a bricklayer, these bricks, not only do they work because they match the house, but they work because they're going to stand the stead of time. So all these materials you use, you've got to make sure that they're going to work. So I could talk all day about this. Can I just make absolutely sure that what you're buying and what they're trying to sell you is the right product? Don't trust them, because they don't know, and it's sad, but they just don't. So it's a big gap in our trade and in our industry that needs to be filled. So we're going to crack on today. We're going to show you some more porcelain. I'm going to do another video today about install and levels and what to do in terms of laying it. So hope you've enjoyed this. And again, anything that you think I've missed, or anything you think that I can learn off, because that's why we do this. You know, we started doing these videos to gain further knowledge in what we do, because we want to get better, you know, every day to what we do on site. We were trying to up the bar all the time, myself and the lads. Every single day we're trying to get better. So that's the first and foremost side of it. The second was to share all our knowledge with you, and for you to share your knowledge back with us. And it's working, because, you know, I've got a few people now through social media, and I've never been on social media before, but I've got a few people through, my cup of tea's going cold, social media, that, oh, cup of tea, first thing in the morning, 8:15 in the morning, client comes out with a cup of tea, puts a big smile on a builder's face, on a bricklayer's face, doesn't it, you know? So, yeah, so, I can't remember what the hell I was saying, because the cup of tea was so nice. It's brilliant. So yeah, I was saying about improving all the time, wasn't I? And, you know, I've got, I keep saying it, you know, we've met John from Green Top Landscapes, Johnny Boy. He's come down and met us. We've been up to see him a few times. He's helped us, and we've now managed to help him, which is good. So we're sharing our knowledge, you know, we're sharing our information and stuff like that, and that's it, and that's as far as it goes. So I'm building up quite a good rapport with John, and trying to gain some knowledge off his skill set and stuff, and likewise vice versa. So it's good, because you do feel a little bit abandoned and a little bit on your own sometimes doing this. So it's good to have somebody to talk to that you trust, and somebody that's like a mate that you trust. And then again, we've met George Jones from Matipo up in Stafford. He's helped me with a flow point and some other bits and pieces, and he seems to have the same mindset and the same perfection and the same goals and the same achievements and stuff. And he's always looking. He's like a sponge, George. He's you know, he's like a young pup, George. You won't mind me saying this. He's trying to get to the next stage before he's done the stage he's on, and you know, you got to admire him for that. And look at it's fantastic. The both of these guys, they do absolutely brilliant work. So it's been good for us as a business to be able to bounce off them. So that's what social media's given me. But anyway, my cup of tea's getting cold. Any questions, let us know. Please, there's a lot of people looking at the channel but not subscribing, so if you could subscribe, it mean a lot to us. And if you do subscribe and leave comments, and I can learn something off you and you can learn something off me, then great. So I'm going to enjoy the cup of tea, I'm going to go and do a day's work, going to get another video going, and have a great day, stay safe, and see you soon, see you on the next one. Cheers.